Yo. Lately, I've been listening to the audio book from 50 Cent, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, right? And, it's a pretty good book overall. And as you go through it, you notice some things, some topics that he went over. And definitely when he talked about Lloyd Banks and when he spoke on Young Buck, it was a little interesting. And I want to kind of go over how I felt about it. A lot of people remember that part where he was talking about Lloyd Banks and referring to his work ethic and how his lack of, you know, pursuing higher aspirations and evolving led to the downfall of G Unit overall. And it's crazy because he touches on Lloyd Banks' work ethic, but Lloyd Banks, if you think about it, he has a pretty extensive catalog. I mean, a lot of it, most of it outside of the G Unit projects are mixtapes, of course, but I mean, some of them are damn near classics if you ask a lot of people, especially East Coast, right? And he mentioned to in regards to Lloyd Banks, 50 did that, hey man, you got hot bars, you got all this music. Why aren't you promoting it? Why aren't you getting on social media and leveraging social media to keep your buzz going to make even more money and grow? And at this time, Lloyd, he was experiencing a lot of like personal problems, a lot of things that was going sideways in his personal life. People close to him passing away. Having to deal with the beefs that 50 was creating, so it kind of put some of their artists in a box as far as who it was okay to work with and in that nature. And it really influenced what a lot of the artists would rap about, right? 50 did have a big influence positively, and he did have a big influence, honestly, in my opinion, negatively as well. I mean, it's a two-way street. The good may outweigh the bad, but still, you gotta understand that everybody's gonna deal with it differently. And 50, him growing up, he lost his mom at an early age. He never truly had a relationship with his father. I don't even think he knew him. So his perspective on family and how to respond to family situations was completely different because, he endured the death of his mom at such an early age that, he it was a lot he couldn't understand. So when it happened to Banks at a later age, 50's looking at it like, okay, cool, it's over and done. Let's get back to work. And Lloyd, he's kind of like, it's still on his mind, it's bothering him, it's affecting his thoughts and his creative process overall. So, they kind of had a little rift over that, and that led to, a lot of creative differences. And, people are back and forth in your ear. 50's controlling you, 50's treating you like this, you know. And, of course, y'all remember the encounters and the confrontations with 50 and Young Buck recently. And it just happens to say 50 recently, I guess, noticed that, I guess it was on Buck's Twitter account, he was liking gay porn, right? That's crazy. After, the last incident, beef between 50 and Buck, 50 revealed that, Buck was down with dating trannies and being in relationships with transgenders, right? So this kind of really is just like, okay, Buck, you're back in the tabloids about a subject like this again, bro. Like, people are to the point now that just like, man, just go and come out the closet, man. And y'all know Fifth, man, he's probably sitting back like, I told you so. But, you know, Fifth was talking about how Buck, he almost was in that same category as Yayo, stuck in the street mentality, stuck in the street habits, stuck in the street life. Buck supposedly had a heavy he dealt with drug abuse. And, he had a lack of financial literacy. So it looks like he was, instead of investing the money and growing with the money he was making from touring and rapping and being an artist, looks like he was spending most of it on dealing with his own demons, right? Which also led to him having money problems and then having to borrow money from 50 and 50 having to bail him out. And then eventually, after Buck's second album, when he just wasn't making the same sales, really nobody was, it just, it didn't work out, So I don't really know if you can say 50 was dissing them or just kind of giving us what he experienced working with them while they were together doing this whole G Unit thing. But how do y'all feel about it, man? Do y'all consider how 50 described the situations and experiences with them? Do y'all see them as disses or do you see them as just, speaking the truth? Let me know in the comments. Y'all don't forget to hit the like on this. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm going to need everybody to chime in on that notification button for me. You dig? For more videos, get at me. You dig, baby? Jip.